Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Trellis and Trellis Homestead. I'm Jacqueline. I have a couple things that I want to get done today. I want to restock on our pizza doughs. We're getting kind of low in the freezer and I just like to keep a stock of those because we do eat pizza probably once a week, once every other week, fairly occasionally. And it's just nice to be able to grab a pizza dough right out of the fridge. These are sourdough pizza doughs, so I have a video linked below. I'm not going to go through every step of making these doughs because I have a full video on it. I'll link it so that you guys can go watch that if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to make some pizza doughs, and then I ordered a new dehydrator on Prime Day. I got it for a good deal, and I've been wanting a new one for a while now. I have like the white 5-tier tray one, and it's great. It does the job. It's like the round one, but it only has an on-off button. It doesn't have a temperature dial on it. So I got this one. I think it's also 5 trays, but like the square metal trays, and you can set a specific temperature for it. I think it goes up to like 165 degrees. So we're going to unbox that because I haven't opened it yet. So it just came yesterday. I don't think I'm going to dehydrate anything today. I don't really have a lot of things to dehydrate right now. I do have some zucchini from the garden. Look how stunning these are. So good. These are my first zucchini at the garden. First 3. I have 3 zucchini plants and 3 squash plants. So we're going to have a lot more zucchini. There's already a lot more growing out there. I'm just waiting for them to get to a good size. You don't want your zucchini to get too big. This is like the perfect size actually. These might be a little bit small. I could have probably let them go for another day. But yeah, so I could make some dehydrated like zucchini chips. I don't think I'm going to just yet. I might if we get an abundance of zucchini, but I'm not going to do that with these today. I'm going to save these for some other recipes and use them throughout the week. I do have some Welsh onions outside. They grow pretty much wild behind my garden beds, and there's a ton of them. So I could chop some of those and dehydrate them. I do that often and just turn them into onion powder. Pause. I just wanted to show you guys. I got a new kitten. Look at the camera. Look. His name is Ted. He's amazing. He's so cute. He's just very rambunctious. So if I have to pause for a second to go get him out of trouble, that's what we're doing. He's so cute. He's so small. He's 12 weeks old. I've had him for 2 weeks now, and he is fitting in great with our family. My older cat, Sherry, she's 11. I'm going to put him down. She is tolerating him, I'll say. I don't think she loves him, but she loves to play near him and watch him play. And just this morning, she's been running up and down the stairs because I think she wants him to chase her. So this is my first video filming with him. I did film some of my last video, but it was outside and he was inside taking a nap. We have a very structured routine, which has been nice because I can get stuff done during his nap times. I've been off work the entire month of July, which has been super nice. That's why I got him actually, because I needed to integrate him with Sherry and kind of train him. He was 10 weeks old when I got him, so he was just a baby and didn't know anything. And I figured there was no better time to get a kitten and to do that than now. I'm watching him because he's trying to get into the blinds. I'm going to open those for a second. That actually made it a little brighter in here. He wants to look outside, so I opened the front blinds. I've been keeping them closed just because it's been so hot with this heat wave. But today, I think it's actually cooler this weekend. It's not going to be too hot. It looks like on the forecast tomorrow it's supposed to rain like all day and be in the 60s, which is wild. But no, he's doing great. Sherry's doing great with him. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks, so it's been a little bit of an adjustment period. But he is gaining a lot more independence. The last week or so, he has gained a lot of independence. So he's kind of doing his own thing. So I'm really happy that I can film this video or part of this video right now while he's just kind of running around, hanging out. He's been very supervised with activities, but I trust him enough now. He just kind of plays with his toys and lays on the couch and kind of does whatever. But probably after I get done with this, it'll be about 10:30 or so. And that's usually his nap time, and he'll sleep for a couple of hours in the laundry room. I think he really enjoys his space and kind of sleeping alone. So he'll usually take at least a morning nap in the laundry room, sometimes an afternoon nap in the laundry room, or he'll take the afternoon nap out like on the couch or whatever. And then he goes to bed between 8 and 9 p.m. He gets so exhausted because he plays so hard, and he sleeps for 12 hours. So that's amazing. With work, I don't think I've actually told you guys, I am a nurse. I work night shift, 12 hours. So I'm glad that he sleeps that long, because that's kind of going to be our routine when I go back to work in August or the end of July. I'm planning for him to stay in the laundry room for a little while longer at night until he gets a little bigger, probably. I also don't want to leave him out with Sherry by themselves when I'm not here to watch them. She's been slapping at him and swatting at him a little bit and hissing some, but I think it's just all kind of playful. She hasn't attacked him or tried to hurt him at all. Even when she slaps at him, she doesn't actually hit him. She just swats in the air. So, but I'm not really at the point where I want to leave them unsupervised together, especially for a full night. So yeah, he kind of has a very structured routine right now, which has been perfect for his little self. It's actually been really, really great. So yeah, he's just down there running around doing his thing. So let's get started. I'm going to put together some pizza doughs, and then we'll get to unpacking our dehydrator. If the house looks like it's a little bit in disarray, actually I think it's okay. But I have a new kitten at home, so I've been trying to get things done when I can. Sometimes that's a little harder than other times. Okay, let's get our mixer out. So I got Ted from, he came with that name, Ted, and it's very fitting, so we kept it. He is a Ted for sure. I got him from a semi-local animal shelter about an hour away from where I live, and they had so many cats and kittens. It is July, so it is kitten season basically, among shelters and things like that. So he was in a litter with two brothers. He actually was shipped to Colorado from Texas, from a kill shelter that has like over 500 animals or something ridiculous. So he came to that shelter when he was about 7 weeks old, the shelter that I got him from. So just a tiny baby with his two brothers all the way from Houston, Texas. So I'm really thankful that I found him. I had gone to another shelter a couple of days before, and they had definitely several kittens too. Not as many cats and kittens as this other place did. All of their kittens were older, like 4 months old and older. They did have a couple of tiny ones. And I'm all about adopting like an older cat. I would have loved to have adopted an older cat. But I knew that my 11-year-old girl, Sherry, would not be okay with an older, bigger cat. I felt like if I was going to do it, and I did it because I felt like she could use a friend. She is very dominant, very independent personality-wise. But as she's getting older, I just felt like it would kind of boost her energy levels, allow her to play, and not be seemingly so bored all the time. She's a big girl. I think she like eats because she's bored and just kind of does certain things because she's bored. So I felt like getting a kitty would be actually really helpful for her. I wasn't totally sure how she would do because she is a mama's girl. And like I said, she's very dominant, has a really strong personality. So I wasn't sure how she would do. She's been in the vicinity with two other cats before, but she was very young then. She was like a year, 2 years old. And she did not do well. She had a very aggressive reaction, just awful. So thankfully with this one, she has not done any of those things that she was doing before when she was younger. Other than like a little bit of hissing and swatting, that's the most of what she's done. So she still is living her best life. She's doing her own thing. She has been spending a little bit more time upstairs. I think she just kind of goes away to get a break sometimes, which is fine, but she still is going out in her tent. I'll include a little clip of them, both in their tents outside. I'm trying to train Ted to enjoy his tent. so that maybe we can take him out and go on adventures together. He seems like he'd be very adventurous and would be cut out for the adventure cat life. So because we do a lot of camping and a lot of exploring outdoors, if we could take him with us, that would be really awesome. But we have a lot of training and a lot of preparing for that to happen. He doesn't have all of his vaccines and everything yet, so it's going to be a little bit before I start walking him outside on a leash and things like that. Even in our backyard, I think it'd be safe enough to do. But we do have some cats in the neighborhood that kind of roam. And I've seen them get into our yard, jump the fence, and come into our backyard before. And I don't know if those cats are vaccinated. I think they are all pets. I don't think that they're like feral cats, but just because I don't know, I don't want him really roaming around too much yet until he gets his rabies and like his 4-month shots or whatever. He's only 3 months old, so we have a little while before that can happen. And then by that point, camping season, like summer camping season, will pretty much be over. So it may just be something that we kind of prepare for over the next year or so. Take him out a little bit in the fall maybe and just kind of see what he does. We sort of attempted the adventure cat lifestyle with Sherry, but she was much older, like 9 or so when we started. It was only about 2 or 3 years ago when we started trying to do things with her. I have some sourdough discard here that I'm going to use for my pizza dough. And that was way too late to start something like that. She did really good with what we were having her do. I took her to like the park and stuff a couple of times. She's never been actually camping. I don't know how comfortable she would be with that. But what she was able to do, she actually did really well with. So I think starting him out as a kitten would be much, much easier. And I think he'd be way more comfortable with things like that. Also, because he's only been in shelters his entire life, he's not really like scared of things necessarily. So I think with his confidence as a kitten and just that he's not afraid of like too many loud noises or anything like that. He did seem a little bit afraid of the outside at first when I started taking him out in his tent. But I think it's just because he's never really experienced the outside. He has literally been in shelters his entire life. So he's getting much more comfortable with that. He will go out in his tent. He only likes to stay in it for about 10 to 15 minutes at a time before he also seems to get bored. I put his toys in there with him and stuff, but he's just full of energy. So he wants to come back inside and run around and play and do his things. So, but anyways, all that being said, I was really shocked with how many cats and kittens they had at this pretty small local shelter. And they were amazing. I'm so glad that I went there. They were so nice, so friendly. And you can tell they just really, really cared about their animals there. So in addition, they had lots of dogs. I didn't see any of the dogs, but I know that they had many, many dogs for adoption. So I would just encourage you, if this is something that you've been considering getting a new pet or have the resources and opportunity to do, go check out your local animal shelters. I know depending on, I'm not against, if you're trying to get a specific breed of dog or whatever, and you go through a breeder or try to find the perfect animal, that's fine. You do what works best for you. I am not against any of it. Both of my cats have come from animal shelters. Sherry was about 10 months old when I got her, so she was a little bit older. But I would just encourage you, if that's something that you're interested in, getting a new pet for your family, just check out and see what they have at some animal shelters. I do think that cats are easier to do that with than dogs, because most of the time you're not looking for a specific breed of cat or have certain needs or hypoallergenic or whatever it may require when you're getting a dog. So I totally get that cats are probably easier to just go get one than dogs are. But there's so many pets out there that need adoption and need safe homes. Or even if you've ever considered fostering animals for a little while, I have totally considered that. But just with Sherry's personality, I didn't know how she would do with that. I would love to have fostered some cats and kittens, but we never really took that on. I would probably get so attached to every single one of them that I would just end up keeping them all. And I can't do that. I do not need more than 2 cats. 2 cats is already enough. So yeah. I just really appreciate all the hard work that they do, and all the love that they give to animals at shelters. Like I said, it was so amazing to see how much they care at this specific one. I know not all of them probably are like that, but I think that everyone mostly that works at these places probably has the best intentions for these animals. I would like to think so, at least. And they were so great with Ted. So we're so thankful to have him. He fits into our family so well. And yeah, I just wanted to introduce you guys because I'm sure you'll be seeing him in some of my videos. We love spicy things, so I most all the time use spicy honey for my pizza dough. Again, I'll link the recipe so that you guys can go watch my pizza dough video that I made back in the winter. I have a full video on every step, so. But my honey is just kind of crystallized and there's not much left, so it's kind of hard to get out. I could just kind of boil it down for a second, but I'm just trying to scoop it out. I don't need too much more. I forgot that I should probably just half this recipe when I make it and do 1/2 at a time because it's kind of a lot for the mixing bowl to do the full amount. This recipe that I use makes 8-inch pizza doughs, and by the time you add all the flour, all the water, all the discard, it is like the bowl, as you can see, the bowl's almost full. I just want to get to the bottom and make sure that the discard got fully incorporated since that was the first ingredient I added. Just since the bowl was really full, I just want to make sure everything really got incorporated good. I think it did. So I'm just doing a little bit of stretching here. You don't need to do stretch and folds or anything yet. Just let it sit and ferment for a good 12 hours or so. I'm just going to cover this with a towel and let it sit for the whole day and probably for the whole night. I might stick it in the fridge if it looks like it's going to like over ferment for the night. But yeah, we'll separate these out in the morning and have pizza doughs to put in the freezer. So I got one of the Cosori dehydrators. I've been wanting probably this brand specifically. I was kind of back and forth between this one and the Excalibur dehydrator, but I'm really glad that I got this one. I think it seems like this is a pretty popular brand and does really well. So let's open it. Like I said, I got this on sale for Prime Day. I think it was $100. I only got the 5-tray one. The 6-tray one was a little bit more expensive. I think it was on sale for $135. And I do use a dehydrator quite a bit, especially in the summer months when we're like preserving things from the garden. Go. I am getting some peaches next week from Palisade, Colorado. If you don't know about Palisade peaches, they're like the most popular peaches around here in this area. Palisade is a big area that grows tons and tons of peaches, and that's where you get your peaches from if you live in Colorado. So I'm getting some next week, probably Monday, actually tomorrow. My husband is bringing them back from where he's at right now. And so I think that I might dehydrate some peaches tomorrow or the next day probably. Here's the tray. They're pretty good size. Square. I don't actually think they're too much bigger than the ones that I currently have. I think they're probably about the same size. It's kind of hard to tell because the one that I have is round and these are square. So, you know, surface space wise, I don't know which is more. I also really like the dehydrator that I currently have, and I'm sure that I'll probably keep that one too. There's nothing wrong with it. I just kind of wanted a nicer one where you could adjust the temperature. But when I do dehydrate my onions, garlic, and things that kind of smell strong, I like to start it outside. So that one's really nice because it's so easy. It's so light. It's like portable, basically. I can just take it outside to start the onions so that it doesn't create an onion smell in my house. This one I think would be a lot harder to take outside. It still is like light and small enough. It probably would be fine, but it just feels a little fancier. Here's one of the plastic sheets for the trays. I don't think it came with more than that. I'll have to check and see all the contents that it came with. Oh yeah, this is actually really light out of the packaging. Look at that! So fancy. It's so cute. I got the silver one. As you can see, there's like black, silver. I think there might have been another color or two. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna get it plugged in a second. Oh, this is really nice. Let's put the trays in. I love that it has the jerky, fruit, vegetable, yogurt options. We do make jerky as well. I do dehydrate fruit and vegetables often. So that's really nice to have. And then the temperature you can adjust. So let's see. I think that you have to turn it on for a little bit and let it go through like an initial process. Oh, a recipe book was included too. So we'll have to go through that and see what's in there. So I'm just looking at the contents that it came with, even though everything seems pretty obvious. It didn't come with too much. This is the mesh screen, so we just have one of those. And the trays you saw me put in there. And this is a fruit roll sheet. So I guess if you want to make fruit leathers or fruit roll-ups, you can put your fruit right on here. And it's just more of a tray with a little lip on it. So before the first use, plug it in, place the trays inside, tap the temperature, adjust it to 176, and then use the buttons to adjust the time to 30 minutes. So we're gonna run it initially. This is only something that you need to do the first time, it says, at 176 degrees for 30 minutes. And it says the default setting is 130 degrees and 8 hours. So we're not going to put any food in it. We're just going to let it test run one good time and clear out anything that needs to be cleared out. It's obviously clean, so that's not an issue, but just the initial steps. It says to make sure that there's sufficient room for ventilation in case it produces any smoke or smells. And if it does, that this is normal for the first time. So we'll see if it does that. Allow it to cool and the trays to cool, and then rinse the trays with water and dry it. So that's what we're going to do today because we're doing this initial setup. It only takes 30 minutes, but again, I'm probably not going to use the actual dehydrator until tomorrow or Monday. I'll include a clip of me dehydrating something, and it'll probably be the peaches. I like that it shows you the time remaining as well as the temperature that it's set on. So I set it for the 176 for 30 minutes. It already smells a little bit, not quite smoky, but there is a weird smell to it. So definitely necessary to do this initial step before you put any food in it. And we'll let it do its thing. So I'm just looking at the user manual, and it tells you the options for the temperatures and times for jerky, fruit, vegetables, and yogurt. I guess the yogurt you could actually put on this tray as well, I would assume. Obviously you can't put it on the metal trays or the mesh screen because there's holes in it. So yeah, you would put that on here, or even if you're making like yogurt balls or something. I've never dehydrated yogurt, so I'm not really sure. I feel like people more often freeze dry yogurt balls and things like that. But I guess you can dehydrate it too. Let me know in the comments below what you guys like to dehydrate most often. Like I said, I usually do jerky and then just some of our vegetables and herbs from the garden. A lot of herbs. We have a lot of dehydrated herbs. So these are most of the things that I have dehydrated currently, and this is all from last year. My herb situation is not great out in my garden right now. This is kale powder from a bunch of kale that I had. And here's my onion powder from my Welsh onions that I dehydrate. We have lots and lots of this. I have this one, and I think I have another little jar started already. Some parsley from last year. Some kind of bigger whole pieces of kale. I like to put these in like soups and stews and things. This is a little bit of rosemary that I have left, and a little bit of dill that I have left. I do have some fresh dill growing in the garden right now. I'll probably use it fresh for a little bit for like focaccia and breads and things, and just other recipes. But if we get to the point, usually it's like towards the end of the season, or if I just have an abundance of herbs, I'll go ahead and dehydrate some. I also have some dried dehydrated cranberries that I did, I think after like the holiday season when I had some leftover cranberries. So lots of herbs I like to do, and then usually fruits and jerkies. I'll include also a link to a video that I did where I made some DIY cocktail mixes and dehydrated some fruits and peppers and things for that. And I'll link that so that you can see it. I wanted to look at the recipe book and see what kind of recipes are in here. Looks like jerky on the front. Oh yeah, there's lots of different jerky recipes. Carne asada jerky, a soy beef jerky, chicken teriyaki, maple bacon. That sounds really good. And then a sugar-free beef jerky. And then some snacks, chickpea snacks, buffalo cauliflower popcorn. That sounds good. Cinnamon apple chips, peach mango fruit leather, sweet and sour rhubarb strips. My rhubarb is not big enough to harvest yet. It was here when we moved into this house, kind of in the corner of our yard, so maybe by next year I'll be able to actually harvest some of that. Nacho cheese, kale chips, more fruit leathers, pineapple, chili lime pineapple rings, sun-dried tomatoes. That would be really cool to do if I have enough tomatoes at the end of the season. Pizza seed crackers, that sounds interesting. And then there's some sweets, lemon thyme cookies, strawberry buttercream frosting, a couple of yogurt recipes, camping and backpacking. This is ideal. This is why I would want a freeze dryer. I just don't think the return on investment for that is worth it just quite yet. Because if you know anything about freeze dryers, you'll know they're very expensive. And I just don't know that we would get that much use out of them for what they cost. So here's some dehydrated camping and backpacking recipes. Cinnamon apple quinoa porridge, vegetable risotto, turkey vegetable chili, and granola bars. I think we'll actually try some of those. So it looks like there's lots of good recipes in here. I'm really excited to try some of these. And it looks like for some of these backpacking recipes, it's just a lot of either fruit or like for the vegetable risotto, for the turkey chili. Is that what it was called? Turkey chili. Turkey vegetable chili. Some stuff that I could use from the garden if I have enough. So that would be really, really cool to do. I might even try some of the yogurt. All of these things in here sound so good. I can't wait to actually make something in the dehydrator. But again, I think I'll probably start with the peaches once I get those. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can see some of the peach recipes that I come up with. I think I'm going to actually can some more like I did last year. Last year I only did 5 jars of canned peaches with like a honey and water mixture, so they're not too sweet. And I've been using those for peach pies and things like that. They have been so good, so I want to make some more cans of those. I think that's about all that I'm going to do in the kitchen today. Thank you guys so much for joining and hanging out with me while I just mixed up some pizza dough and we got our dehydrator unpacked. Again, let me know in the comments below what your favorite dehydrator recipes are, what you like to dehydrate, and how you use those. And also, let me know about this Cosori dehydrator if you have this one or another Cosori dehydrator. Let me know what you think about it. I'd love to know. I'm hopeful. I'm really excited. I'm excited that there is a temperature adjustment as well as a time adjustment because, like I said, my other one, you just turn it off and on. There's no timer or anything, so you just have to actually turn it off when you feel like everything is done rather than setting it for a specific time. But I think with my work schedule and other things, this is actually really great if I want to throw something in when I get off work in the morning and just set it for, 8 hours or whatever. It'll be done by the time I wake up to go back to work or whatever the case may be. So yeah, really looking forward to using this. I just need for my garden to produce. It's taken a really long time for things to start producing. Very excited to have the zucchini over here and actually have been able to get something out of the garden here in mid-July. But I think that everything will kind of start to produce here in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I didn't say, I just wanted to say real quick that this thing is super quiet too. My other one is a little bit louder than this one. Like if I had it in the kitchen, I could hear it downstairs. This one is like almost silent. You can't really hear it at all. Guys, I know I said I wasn't going to dehydrate anything today, but I just pulled another zucchini out of the garden. So I feel like I have to make some zucchini chips in the dehydrator. I'm just going to slice this really thin and toss it in a little bit of olive oil and some salt. And I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate these and turn them into chips.